So I love hormone replacement therapy. I think we are finally coming off of quite a few decades of it being demonized based on a study that was done in the early 2000s called the Women's Health Initiative that really painted, especially estrogen therapy, as, causing cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, blood clots, all of these things. And functional medicine has known for a long time that that study was not valid, that it was very, very poorly executed, very poorly analyzed. And the biggest study in history came out in the spring of 2024 that looked at millions of women over 2 decades on hormone replacement versus not, and looked at health outcomes in these women. And the data was extremely clear. Even estrogen replacement, which, I would consider to be, quote, the more risky one, if you can even say that,
okay, was
shown when you use estrogen replacement in good amounts, especially early on, protective against breast cancer, ovarian cancer, cognitive decline as we age, obviously osteoporosis, osteopenia, and even heart disease, which is the number one killer of women and men too. So it completely neutralized the Women's Health Initiative and really changed medicine's approach towards hormones in general. And it's such an exciting time to be a woman. I feel so bad for the women that came before us that had to suffer the consequences of the Women's Health Initiative. But not only in research is it shown to be safe, effective, I literally see it change women's lives every day. For progesterone, for example, like most women, as we are in our 30s even, we encounter lower levels of progesterone that lead to like PMS, PMDD, anxiety, irritability, agitation, insomnia, worsen leading up to our periods or postmenopausally consistently. And I've been called a witch 3 times by 3 different women for fixing their progesterone because once you take a good witch like Glenda, right?
Yeah.
Once you take it within like 48 hours, women have this extremely life-changing experience of feeling more calm, more zen, more like themselves. And it's miraculous almost, right? And so I will give out progesterone basically all day, every day. It's natural. It comes from yams or sweet potatoes.
God.
It's completely
like get on the program.
I know. Really, I can't recommend it enough. I took mine last night.
Okay.
Testosterone's another one. Really early on in women's lives, in our 20s, we start losing testosterone. You throw a thyroid issue in there, and that's just exponentially more significant. And testosterone is extraordinarily safe, extremely effective. It helps maintain our metabolism as we age, our libido, our ability to exercise, build muscle, recover from exercise. It's so useful, so beneficial. I think in some cases right now, it's being taken to extremes. Women are being, put on really quite excessive levels of testosterone. And that is not good, right? Too much of anything isn't good. But when it's used appropriately and well, it is incredible for how you feel on a day-to-day. Women get their spark back. They really do. And it's just profoundly life-changing. Estrogen is the same. I mean, estrogen now, more and more people are recognizing we need to start that early. We don't need to wait until people are postmenopausal. In fact, in perimenopause, a lot of women need it. And the earlier you start it, the more benefits we see long-term.
A lot of people, it's natural for our hormones to reduce. And then we start to we go through seasons in our life, right? And that's why a lot of older people, it's hard for them to lose weight. And so that's why the hormone replacement therapy is such a great hack, I would imagine. But just, how early can you start hormone replacement? What's for a mother of a teenager who seems out of sorts mentally, what would you do? What tests would you run? How can we save the young from and give it a healthy foundation of hormones early?
That's such a good question.
Because I feel like we don't. We need to talk to women about hormones prepubescent.
Right. Such a good conversation. Because right now, you're right. The conversation is open to menopausal women. Now we're starting to talk about perimenopause, but we're not talking about these young girls. So such an important question. So young girls generally manifest with hormone disruption in terms of reproductive hormones like estrogen and progesterone as really bad PMS, really moody, PMDD, they'll call it, heavy periods, crampy periods, dysregulated cycles. They're in bed, they're ragey, they're anxious, they're not sleeping leading up to their period. Almost always, that is a case of what's called estrogen dominance. And you think about estrogen and progesterone in balance with one another. And estrogen dominance, too much estrogen compared to progesterone, think about it like a seesaw, can come from too much estrogen, so that side of the seesaw is too heavy. It can come from too little progesterone, or both, right? And so you can very clearly figure out which one of these it is and address it. So you get labs on a 28-day cycle, you get them around day 21. Basically, we're looking for the peak of your progesterone. Your progesterone's low 95% of your cycle. It peaks for like 48 hours. We want to look at that day. So if it's a 28-day cycle, day 21. If it's a 25-day cycle, maybe day 17, 18, okay? Your progesterone should be about 16 to 24 during that time. Your estrogen is also at a predictable time because our hormones are very crazy all month. They vary. So we have to plot them on a map when we know what they should be. Your estrogen should be like 80 to 120. If your estrogen's 160, if it's 230, the seesaw's too heavy on estrogen. And then with that, I give my patients DIM. DIM is a natural enzyme. It's present in a lot of cruciferous veggies. We have it ourselves, but we also can garner it from food. And it helps us upregulate the estrogen metabolism so it can lessen the burden on the seesaw. If they're too low on progesterone, I would absolutely give a young girl bioidentical compounded sustained release progesterone all day, every day. Like all day, every day. It is so much safer, so much more effective. Literally almost no side effects. I think I've had 2 people ever have side effects from estrogen out of thousands. Progesterone out of thousands. So very well tolerated, very safe, accessible. I would give them that the last half of their cycle, days 15 through like 28, when they should have higher levels of progesterone. And in one cycle, if you do those things correctly, the PMDD that literally they were going to be put on antidepressants for, the birth control that they were going to be put on to mitigate this, it's gone. Like, yeah, no, it's life-changing.
Yeah.